Let me clear my throat. What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me. For those of you that don't know, my name is Will Johnson. My website is uniteamericafirst.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please go ahead and hit that share button for me. Go ahead and like, follow, subscribe. You're on YouTube. Smash that like button. Smash it. I mean, I'm telling you, smash it. Interesting thing, I saw some other people saying smash the like button. And I've been saying it for several years now. You know, I've been saying smash the like button. Now I'm starting to see people way up there saying smash the like button. I'm not saying I started it, but I just, I haven't heard anybody else say smash the like button until, I started using it. Then all of a sudden everybody else started using it. But anyways, let's get on with it. So let me tell you something. You know Kevin McCarthy. You know who Kevin McCarthy is? Now, I've always called Kevin McCarthy sometimes McCarthy because sometimes he would act like he's a Republican and most times he would act like he's a Democrat, straight up rhino. And after this whole thing with him going through getting the votes, in the House, what had to happen over, so many years. And the Democrats were like, this is bad for the Republicans, good for them. But I said that McCarthy is probably going to end up using this, and it's going to work to our advantage. Now, McCarthy's been coming out hitting hard is my whole point. But I still have my reservations about McCarthy. But as long as he keep this up, he can redeem himself. I think everyone would agree. Because right now, the left, they're not happy with McCarthy. And if McCarthy is doing something and the left is not happy about it, then we all should be happy about it. We should be kind of rooting McCarthy on. Continue doing what you're doing, Kevin McCarthy. Continue. Don't let up. Don't stop. Well, anyways, I do have some stuff I want to share with you. Of course, naturally I do. Naturally I do. I do have some stuff I want to share with you. Here's the first clip that I want to share with you. This is with Karine Jean-Pierre, of course, and she's talking to someone in the press corps asked Karine Jean-Pierre about Kevin McCarthy, removing Adam Schiff, Ilhan Omar, and Eric Swalwell from the committees that they were on. And now all of them crying like crybabies. Every last one of them straight up crying like crybabies. Really? Y'all didn't expect this to happen? Y'all did it to Republicans, and Republicans should just take it, right? Y'all did it to Republicans, but now they're upset because it's happening to them. And the most interesting thing is that the Democrats are saying that this is revenge. It has nothing to do with revenge. But listen to this.
Any reaction from you from the White House about Speaker McCarthy's decision to keep Representative Schiff and Swalwell from the Intelligence Committee?
So I'll say this. Representative Schiff, Representative Swalwell, and also Representative Omar are expertise and bring a lot to the table when it comes to foreign policy.
What? Their expertise at what? Expertise at lying. Expertise of misleading and putting out disinformation to the American people. Adam Schiff really huge on that. So where's the expertise at? These people are tyrants. And of course, she's going to come on here and she'll speak up for them. She called them experts and said good, pleasant things about them, knowing good and well she's straight up lying herself.
And national security. And we'll say this, we'll say that, when it comes to that committee, it should not be politicized. It should be independent. And again, those congressional members bring a lot of expertise to that committee, and I'll leave it there.
She literally said it shouldn't be politicized. That's the only thing that the Democrats ever do. They politicize everything. There's not a single thing that the Democrats do that is not politicized or, politicized in a woke agenda. Everything is about wokeism when it comes to the left. Now, y'all know who Pompeo is. Pompeo was on Fox News with these young lovely ladies, and he makes a valid point about Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff was actually leaking information, and they're supposed to everyone is supposed to just look the other way when Adam Schiff was leaking this information, and he wants to still be on the committee so he can leak more information. You know what? That dude should be removed from political office. Not only was he leaking information, it's like the whole document issue with Joe Biden, right? They're leaking information. Listen to this.
Speaker Kevin McCarthy has made it official, formally banning Adam Schiff and Eric Swalwell from the powerful House Intel Committee. And he's removed Ilhan Omar from House Foreign Affairs. Omar, Swalwell, Schiff ripping McCarthy for his decision earlier this morning.
This is a patently unfair smear by Mr. McCarthy, but that's what he traffics in.
It is about revenge. It's about the appeasing the former president.
So this is purely about political vengeance.
Is it? Because meanwhile, Speaker McCarthy is defending his decision, saying this actually is about Congressman Adam Schiff. And you'll see in this texty exchange with a reporter exactly why and how he defends it.
Let me say something before we go on. You know what? Every time the Democrats say that the Republicans are doing something, they're the ones actually doing it. They're going to they want total revenge right now against Kevin McCarthy and the Republicans because the Republicans are actually doing the right thing. Listen to this.
It's not an answer to my question. Why is lying?
Okay, let me be very respectful to you. You asked me a question. When I answer it, it's the answer to your question. You don't get to determine whether I answer your question or not, okay? In all respect. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker?
No, let's answer her question. You just raised a question. I will be very clear with you. The Intel Committee is different. You know why? Because what happens in the Intel Committee, you don't know. What happens in the Intel Committee, although the secrets are going on in the world, other members of Congress don't know. What did Adam Schiff do as the chairman of the Intel Committee? What Adam Schiff did, use his power as a chairman and lie to the American public.
Mr. Secretary, and then he went on to say a whole lot more, and I felt it was fantastic because he was underscoring the fact that in stark contrast to Rep. Schiff's prior behavior, what goes on in the Intel Committee is actually sacred, and it serves a sacred purpose, which is protecting national security. What say you about the Speaker's decisions?
So I had the incredible privilege to serve on that committee. It covers the most classified, most difficult stuff. Not every member of Congress gets to see the information that the Intelligence Committee sees. And Adam Schiff lied to the American people. And during my time as CIA Director and Secretary of State, I know that he leaked classified information that had been provided to him. Now, the fact that Adam Schiff was the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee almost ruined that committee. It serves an incredibly important function for the American people. Speaker McCarthy got this one exactly right. Adam Schiff should be nowhere near serving on the Intelligence Committee. I don't think he should be seeing classified information.
And, sir, given that he leaked information, that's a felony at minimum, up to treason. Why was there no accountability for the millions of people watching right now? How is that being allowed to go further, let alone giving him the fodder for him to complain about being removed from the committee?
So it's a complicated.
Okay, before he responds to that, did you hear what she said? She said this is an act of treason because he was actually leaking information. He knew that the whole Russia collusion was a fake story. You remember? I remember Sean Hannity would constantly play the audio clip where the two guys were acting like Russian operatives calling Adam Pencilneck Schiff. And Adam Pencilneck Schiff was like, oh, yeah, this is great. This is great. We have something on President Trump. We have something on him. And he still ran with it like it was true. And it was 100% fraudulent. He did that with so many things. And then they act like it wasn't true. I mean, this is unbelievable how corrupt these people are. And Adam Schiff, he really did commit treason by leaking information along with Comey. You remember Comey, FBI Comey?
Process, right? It's difficult to pin down precisely what happened, but I could tell you that when we provided information to him and to his staff, it ended up in places it shouldn't have been with alarming regularity. And we could see it. So in the end, I decided I held back information from them. As a result of that, I just didn't have confidence that providing that information, which was my obligation to work with the congressional branch, right, to work with them, I didn't feel comfortable we could do that. And so I've been troubled by Mr. Schiff's behavior. He told the American people repeatedly, oh, there's more to know about the Russia hoax. We suffered for 2.5 years in the administration. There's more to come. He knew it wasn't true. He went after Devin Nunes in ways that were indecent when he knew what Representative Nunes had written was true. He was out telling a whopper. And you shouldn't be around the Intelligence Committee when you can't manage.
Yeah, he shouldn't be around any intelligent community. He literally lied. He straight up lied. And remember, not only that, remember when Adam Schiff got the transcript from President Trump and he was reading the transcript? And after he got through reading the transcript, they said that's not what's in the transcript. And he said he was doing a parody. He was literally lying then. Is the truth even anywhere remotely close in these people? Do these people have the truth at all? I don't think so. These people don't care about the truth. They ignore the truth, and they want to take the truth and they want to do away with it. They want to squash it. They want to kill the truth. These people are 100% demonic demons. And I know people don't like me saying that sometimes, but it's true. Give me another explanation why these evil people doing what they're doing, why they constantly lie. So I do have some clips with them, with Eric Swalwell up here crying, literally up here crying. Here, look at this one. Look at this. I mean, this straight up crying. Oh, why did he have to take us off of here? And then he tried to do this whole spiel like Kevin McCarthy is in the wrong. Swalwell was actually with a spy. They knew he was with a spy. And Kevin McCarthy completely laid it out that these people, that Eric Swalwell was with the spy, and he can't even get security clearance in the private sector. Why in the world would they give it to him in Congress? I mean, this is wild. Listen to this.
I would just add, you're seeing now the fulfillment of Kevin McCarthy's corrupt bargain, a corrupt bargain with Marjorie Taylor Greene, somebody who declared on January 5, the day before the attack on the Capitol, that this is 1776, someone who cheered on the insurrectionists, somebody who, as we honor the police officers who were injured that day, she goes to the D.C. jail to make sure that insurrectionists are taken care of. The first time.
You know, this is such a lame excuse for him. This is such a lame excuse. They actually put people in jail for not even doing anything remotely close what Antifa and BLM has been doing. Nothing remotely close to it, right? Nothing. And he's more concerned about her going to a jail where people being held unlawfully. And he says nothing about the criminal activity that the left has been doing. Nothing.
This person's ever cared about the conditions of a jail is when insurrectionists are inside it. She's going on the Homeland Security Committee. It's too rich that the day that George Santos yesterday admits to the Federal Election Commission that he defrauded them in his statement that he put $500,000 of his own money into the campaign. It's too rich that the day that he admits that he lied to a federal agency, that the ranking member of the Intel Committee is pulled off the committee. It's just.
You notice he doesn't talk about himself. You know, he doesn't talk about the spy that he was with, right? The Chinese spy. He doesn't talk about that. You notice that? Like, that's okay.
Too rich that as the three of us are about to lose our committees, this corrupt bargain also enables Paul Gosar, who depicted himself killing a colleague, goes on to a committee. And it's too rich that this corrupt bargain also includes $75 billion to defund the troops, by $75 billion, a part of the promises that he made for this corrupt bargain. So we are caught up in this corrupt bargain. It doesn't feel good at all. It doesn't feel good personally, but that's not what's important. It doesn't feel good for the country and the Congress because they ran on inflation, crime, border, and they're not taking on any of that. This is the nonsense they're focused on. Really?
There's not a single thing that the Democrats have done that has been positive for this country. And they're not the Republicans don't want to cut money to the military. The Republicans want to increase the military. The only thing that they want to cut out of the military is all this wokeness. The military is not in the business of recruiting people and then converting them from a man to a woman. That's not the business of the military. It should not be there. That's the cuts that they want to get rid of. That's not going to get us ready for any type of warfare by converting a man to a woman or saying that this woman is a man now. That has nothing to do with warfare. You go out on the battlefield, what? You're going to have these women that's going to be out on the battlefield. Look, I'm not being a misogynist or anything like that. There's some very strong women. But throughout history of this world, there's a reason why majority of men go to the front line. I mean, it is what it is. There's a reason why that happens. But they're trying to change it up. When you go out onto the battlefield, you don't care if that man over there is sleeping with somebody who he's sleeping with. You care that they have your back. That's what it's about. And all this wokeism that they're putting in the military, that's what they're talking about cutting. Now, of course, here's Ilhan Omar with her crying session. Listen to this. You can't make this stuff up.
In modern American history, the punishment of stripping a member of Congress of their committee assignments has been reserved for only the most egregious wrongdoings. Those convicted or indicted.
Can we say one wrongdoing is being anti-Semitic? Can we get her to make a comment about Israel again? Because remember, she wants Israel wiped off the map. Ask her. She doesn't hide the fact. She doesn't want Israel to get any support from the United States of America, but they're willing to send everything they can over to Ukraine, if she's okay with them sending any funds to any nation that want to destroy Israel. She's totally anti-Semitic, even to the point to where Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats had to get her to sign a piece of paper that's saying that she wouldn't say anything bad about Israel anymore. Right? You can keep your hatred towards Israel, what they're saying, because, the Democrats, they pretty much hate Israel as well. But they had to get her to sign a paper saying she wouldn't say anything else publicly. On
corruption, those who have engaged in bribery, sexual misconduct, encouraged violence.
Wait a minute. Would marrying her brother have anything to do with sexual misconduct? I'm just asking the question here. Would that have anything to do with it?
Or other grave charges. I have served on the House Foreign Affairs Committee and the House Education and Labor Committee for the past 2 terms, committees that I have lived experience and expertise in. As a child who survived war, lived in a refugee camp, I would have never imagined that I would one day have the opportunity to serve on a subcommittee on Africa, global health, and global human rights. I would not have believed that I would one day not just serve as the first African-born member of Congress, but on a committee that oversees policies towards the continent.
Really? So now you know what this is, you know what she's doing here, right? Y'all picking up on this? She's trying to make this a racially related issue, right? But she did it to it has happened to 2 other white guys, but she's still interjecting the whole racist issue. Trying to say that McCarthy did this to her because she has dealings with Africa. You know that's what she's doing. Am I wrong? Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. Hit the share button while you're at it.
Kevin McCarthy's purely partisan move to strip us from our committee is not only a political stunt, but also a blow to the integrity of our democratic institution and threat to our national security.
Oh, wow. This is a blow? Really? This is a blow? This is a blow to her ego, to her feelings.
We are thankful to Leader Jeffries and House Democrats and even some courageous Republicans for standing with us.
Oh, Liz Cheney, Adam Kissinger. Really? Really?
If McCarthy wants to denigrate the integrity of the House and its committees, we will always stand up to these efforts. I am grateful for the confidence of my constituents and my colleagues have shown me to serve on these committees, and I look forward to continuing that work of building a more peaceful world.
She wants to work towards a more peaceful world when she wants Israel wiped off the map. How was that peaceful? When she's been racist, she says racist remarks herself, and she doesn't have any qualms about saying racist remarks about white people. You've heard her say it. There's been multiple times she's come out there with her racist remarks, trying to say that white people are this and white people are that. She's completely racist. And she says she wants a more peaceful world. These people do not have the truth in them. She's a total liar. Adam Schiff is a total liar. Eric Swalwell's he's been sleeping with a spy. And wait a minute, she just mentioned about sexual misconduct, and Eric Swalwell is standing right there next to her. Was she referring to him? No, not at all. Right? He was sleeping with a spy. Adam Pencilneck Schiff is a straight up liar, and she is actually hateful. She wants to wipe Israel off the map. There's no secret. Now, Kevin McCarthy, he actually responded, and this was really beautiful here. And I want to share this. I've shared this on a few different places, but I want to share this one more time, because for those of you that have not seen Kevin McCarthy's response, again, I hold my reservations with Kevin McCarthy, but I do like the fact that he's actually doing what he's doing, because long as he's creating liberal tears, he's okay in my book. I'm just saying.
Intel committee. Is Santos on the Intel committee? Am I allowing Schiff to be on other committees? Go right ahead.
Because you have direct power over who goes on the intelligence committee, you also will be able to raise for your full House, taking off other Democrats, perhaps Representative Omar. But you have said that lying to us is something that means you should be removed from the intelligence committee. But why is it not a factor?
Well, let me be very.
This is a man who should not be on committee, something you do have power over.
He's got elected by his district. So. Okay, let me be very clear and respectful to you. You ask me a question. When I answer it, it's the answer to your question. You don't get to determine whether I answer your question or not, okay? In all respect. Thank you.
Ooh. Sounds like someone just dropped the mic. He just dropped the mic. And before he continues, isn't it interesting how you have the liberal media news, how they're all on here jumping in, try to defend Adam Schiff, Pencilneck Schiff, when he literally lied to the American people? Is the press that dumb? Are they not that aware that he was actually doing that? No, they are aware. They just went along with it. They wanted him to lie because that's the lie that they wanted to hear. They want the lie to be the truth. Do they not know that Ilhan Omar wanted to wipe Israel off the planet? Yes, they do. Did she say all these racist remarks about white people? Yes, she did. Do the media know about it? Yes, they do know about it. But they agree. Even the white liberals agree with it. And then they all know that Eric Swalwell was sleeping with a Chinese spy. Am I to believe that everybody in the press corps is a Chinese spy, or all of them sleeping with him? It's quite possible.
No. Let's answer her question. You just raised a question. I'm going to be very clear with you. The Intel Committee is different. You know why? Because what happens in the Intel Committee, you don't know. What happens in the Intel Committee, although the secrets are going on in the world, other members of Congress don't know. What did Adam Schiff do as the chairman of the Intel Committee? What Adam Schiff did, use his power as a chairman and lie to the American public. Even the Inspector General said it. When Devin Nunes put out a memo, he said it was false. When we had a laptop, he used it before an election to be politics and say that it was false and said it was the Russians. When he knew different, when he knew the Intel, if you talk to John Radcliffe, DNI, he came out ahead of time and says there's no intel to prove that, and he used his position as chairman, knowing he has information the rest of America does not, and lied to the American public. When a whistleblower came forward, he said he did not know the individual, even though his staff had met with him and set it up. So no, he does not have a right to sit on that. But I will not be like Democrats and play politics with these, where they removed Republicans from committees and all committees. So yes, he can serve on a committee, but he will not serve on Intel because it goes to the national security of America. And I will always put them first, all right?
You know what's interesting is that he said that Adam Pencilneck Schiff can still be on a committee. When it was up to Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats, they wouldn't allow the Republicans, when they didn't want them on a single committee, they wouldn't let them on any committee. You understand what I'm telling you? But he's still allowing them to be on the committee, just not the committee that they want, not the committee that they could create all this damage, not the committee that they want to destroy America with. Good for him. Good for him.
And if you want to talk about Swalwell, let's talk about Swalwell, because you have not had the briefing that I had. I had the briefing and Nancy Pelosi had the briefing from the FBI. The FBI never came before this Congress to tell the leadership of this Congress that Eric Swalwell had a problem with a Chinese spy until he served on Intel. So it wasn't just us who were concerned about it. The FBI was concerned about putting a member of Congress on the Intel committee that has the rights to see things that others don't because of his knowledge and relationship with a Chinese spy. They brought it to the works of the leaders. I've got that briefing. So I do not believe he should sit on that committee. And I believe there's 200 other Democrats that can serve on that committee. So this has nothing to do with Santos. Santos is not on the Intel committee. But you know what? Those voters elected Schiff, even though he lied. Those voters elected Swalwell, even though he lied to the American public too. So you know what? I'll respect his voters too, and they'll serve on committees. But they will not serve on a place that has national security relevance because integrity matters to me. That's the answer to your question.
Wow. Integrity matters. But, you know, of course, integrity doesn't matter to the Democrats, because if integrity actually mattered to the Democrats, to the left, they wouldn't go along with all of these lies. And there's just a whole laundry list of lies. I mean, you know, one example saying a man can get pregnant. I mean, there's just so many of them, right? There's no integrity in the left. None. Nada. Zero. Zip. And then they get upset when you point it out. And you know what? I'm telling you, as of right now, even with my reservations, I'm liking Kevin McCarthy. I'm liking him. This is what we expect from Republicans. This is what we expect for some that have a backbone. I mean, this is what, hey, at least this is what I expect. You may not expect this. You may hate the fact that Kevin McCarthy is standing up to these Democrats. You may hate the fact that he's removing them after they lied and did so much corruption. You may dislike that fact that Kevin McCarthy is actually doing this. And you may go, I don't care. I don't care how good of a job he's doing. I'm not going to trust him. I'm not going to like him. You can be that way. I still have my reservations about him, but you know what? As long as he continue doing this, he's right up my alley. I like what he's doing. Everybody can change. Will Johnson changed. I used to be a Democrat, and I wasn't like one of these radical Democrats out here wanting to burn up cities and stuff like that. I considered myself like, I guess, in the middle, because I didn't agree with, you know, men being with men. I didn't agree with any of that crap. None of that, right? I used to be a Democrat, but God healed my mind. And that's why a lot of the leftists right now, especially the black ones, they send me all these hateful messages, and they can't stand the fact that a black man like me is, oh my goodness, what is he doing? Thinking for himself like this. But anyways, Kevin McCarthy bring up this whole thing about Adam Pencilneck Schiff when he was lying to the American people. He was head of the committee. He was lying, literally lying. And him and the FBI have been doing all this corruption. And I know you're all aware of this story here. This story here with the FBI that was leading the charge on the whole fraudulent Russian dossier thing. He's been pulled up, indicted, and he's in trouble. Look at this.
A former top FBI official in the Bureau's New York office has been arrested. 4 senior law enforcement sources say Charles McGonigal faces charges related to violating Russian sanctions and money laundering. Back with me are Justice and Intelligence correspondent Ken Delaney and Frank Figluzzi, a national security analyst for us. Ken, McGonigal here is the former head of counterintelligence for the New York City office. He's due in federal court later today in Manhattan. What do we know, and what more could we learn?
This is a massive and shocking case, Lindsay. We're still going through the details of this news release from the U.S. Attorney in the Southern District of New York, but McGonigal was arrested over the weekend, we're reporting, and he's facing...
You know what? Someone help me out here, because when I first heard this story, I'm sorry I had to stop it there. And I want to get this out there. Help me out here. Where did the indictment come from? I mean, is it the FBI that arrested him? Because I actually went out there and I tried to look for it, and I couldn't find exactly. Maybe I didn't look in the right spot, and I've been running around, and I be honest with you, I just spent too much time, but it should just be present itself. But if you know this information, it's come out since then, since I looked at it earlier, can you let me know in the comments who actually did it? And the reason why I'm asking, because did the FBI do this indictment? Because it's one of their own. It's one of their own. And does this mean that we're going to start seeing more arrests coming, more indictments? I'm just asking the question, and they're scrambling. The Democrats are scrambling right now because they don't want this happening. They love the corruption from the federal government. They love it, and they want it to continue.
U.S. Attorney in the Southern District of New York, but McGonigal was arrested over the weekend, we're reporting, and he's facing 5 counts related to business dealings after he left the FBI in 2018 with a Russian oligarch named Oleg Deripaska, who he had some role in investigating while he was inside the FBI. So this is just a huge black eye, a whiff of corruption here with a former senior FBI official.
He said it's a huge, I tell you, huge black eye. You don't say. You don't say. You think it's really a huge black eye? And of course, that's what he's going to say. Of course, it's a huge black eye. Because this only proves that President Trump didn't do anything wrong. It only proves it was a total witch hunt against President Trump. It only proves that the Democrats were not doing anything to move this country forward. Nothing. Nada. Zero. Zip. The whole thing with, you know what, and you still have people today, right now. And I've been out on the street talking to some of these people. Because right before the midterm election, I went to a Beto Francis O'Rourke, fake Mexican. I went to one of his events, and this dude out there that I was talking to, he was saying, oh, yeah, President Trump colluded with Russia. And I even mentioned to him about the whole Mueller report proved that President Trump didn't collude with Russia. And he still didn't believe it. It was really amazing. He said the Mueller report didn't show anything like that. It's really amazing how these people on the left are so misinformed. The low information voters, they don't want to hear the truth when the truth is presented to them because they're already stuck with the lie and they want the lie that they've heard to be the truth. Now, the Republicans, again, the Republicans are actually standing up. Let me change it up a little bit here because I can keep going on and on about that. But the Republicans are standing up now, and the Republicans they're fighting back. And this is all we ever wanted from the Republicans, to get a backbone. Fight, right? Fight how you know how to fight. Listen to this one.
Good morning. Thank you for being here today. This week, House Republicans are working to end Joe Biden's assault on American energy independence and restore our depleted strategic petroleum reserves. For far too long, Joe Biden has risked America's national security and drained our strategic petroleum reserves to cover up for his anti-American energy agenda. The SPR is for emergencies, not Joe Biden's political points. Our strategic petroleum reserves oil is only supposed to be used for national security events, but Joe Biden has sold nearly 40% of our stockpile since being elected.
How was that not considered treason? I'm just asking the question because he's actually hurting our country. He's doing this deliberately. And a lot of people saying he's doing it because it came from the orders of the WEF.
In fact, Joe Biden has sold off more of our oil reserves than every U.S. president in history combined. Today, our crucial emergency oil reserves are at the lowest level in my lifetime. As a result, China now has the world's largest government-controlled stockpile of oil, and Joe Biden and his administration have no plan to reverse course. Under an open rule, this week, House Republicans will continue to implement our commitment to America. This week, we will pass a bill to prevent abuse of the SPR and require Joe Biden to put forth a plan to increase domestic production. It is long past time to unleash American energy and restore our standing on the world stage. House Republicans will hold the Biden administration accountable for tying the hands of America's oil and gas producers in the midst of an energy crisis. We will deliver on our promise to defend our energy security, to support an economy that's strong.
Now, I just mentioned this earlier about Kevin McCarthy. Isn't this the type of Republican Party that you want? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You know, when I was a Democrat, and God healed my mind, thank you so much, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. When he healed my mind from that, I didn't go full on just Republican. I was independent because I was like, because I was still kind of like having conflict between, because I was always told the Republican Party was nothing but for rich old white men. That's what I was told. And I was told this by people that I had no reason to think they would lie to me. They didn't know any better either. But I was an independent. And then I started really looking to it. This was with Obama. And I'm like really looking into it. And I'm like, you know what? No. And then I changed it from independent to Republican, full on Republican. And then I started looking and said, well, these Republicans don't have backbones. Moral of this story, they don't have any backbones. So I went and said, you know what? I don't really consider myself a Republican, but I consider myself a conservative Christian. That's what as of today, I consider myself a conservative Christian because the Republicans never had backbone. But now all of a sudden, it's like they're getting a backbone, right? I'm telling you, what Matt Gaetz and the 20 Republicans did, it actually did a wake-up call to a lot of these Republicans. And now they're saying, you know what? We need to start fighting back. Because if they don't start fighting back, the Democrats are going to continue down the path of destroying this nation. And that's what they want. Okay, let me get to something else that I want to share with everybody else. They're getting ready to let President Trump back on to Facebook. They've already, because of Elon Musk, President Trump is back on Twitter. He hasn't done any tweets thus far, as I know, but they're getting ready to let him back on Facebook. And of course, because they're getting ready to let him back on Facebook, they don't like it. They're not happy with it. So listen to Wolfie Blitzer here as he talks about it with him and his panel about President Trump going back onto Facebook. And they're upset. They really are upset.
Right now, Meta, the parent company of both Facebook and Instagram, says it's restoring the social media accounts of former President Donald Trump. For more on that, I want to bring in CNN's Donny O'Sullivan, CNN's Kristen Holmes, and CNN media analyst Sarah Fisher. She's a senior media reporter over at Axios. Donny, let me start with you. First of all, give us the specifics. What are you learning?
Yeah, well, if this is the most politically consequential decision Meta, Facebook's parent company, has ever made. In the past few minutes, Meta announcing that it is going to allow former President Donald Trump back on its platforms, which of course include Facebook and Instagram. Trump was kicked off both of those platforms in the days following the Capitol attack. Facebook saying at the time that having him there was a risk to public safety. Facebook said that they would reassess this decision after 2 years, which they did this month. And they decided, I guess, that the risk to public safety is not what it was, in their view, in January 2021, and now are putting him back on the platform. He's going to get his accounts back in the coming weeks. But Wolf, the really, really important thing here for the Trump campaign, particularly. Let me stop it real quick. You see this dude here? This dude was at CPAC in Dallas, and he was outside. And I walked up on him, and I didn't even say anything to him. Apparently, this dude has seen me before, because as soon as I walked up on him, all of them stopped talking. They all shut down because they were all talking. They were talking to people that were walking by. They were questioning people that were walking by. But as soon as I walked up, he shut down. He had nothing to say. He was completely silent. This dude looks like a toad to me. He looks like a straight up toad. He's a total liberal. He doesn't care about the truth, doesn't care about the facts. This dude is a tyrant himself. I just had to put that out there. I don't know why, but I just had to. As we go into 2024, is in previous campaigns, Trump has spent hundreds of millions on targeted Facebook advertising. That is going to be a very, very important tool as we go into 2024. And see, that's what they're really concerned about, that President Trump will spend money, run ads on Facebook, and then people will see it. Millions of people will see it. So now they're going to go into, like, they're going to create. Now, listen to this part here. This part was really mind blowing to me. They said they're going to do a new technology
to prevent his post from being reached by other people, by being other people seeing it. They'll let him put it on there. It's just people won't see it. Like, that's a new technology. Facebook has already been doing that. They've done it to me. They've been doing it to me. They're doing it to me. They've been doing it. Listen to this. See, this is the type of stuff that you can't, it's happening and they're trying to act like it's not happening or it's never been happening before. And again, that is still a form of censorship. I'm wondering if that's another thing the FBI went to Facebook and said, okay, they're going to let Trump back on, but we need for y'all to censor him like you've been censoring everybody else. Is that coming from the FBI? These woke liberals, they want this. Listen.
Certainly is, and he presumably could raise a lot of money advertising as well. Sarah, I know you had an exclusive interview with Nick Clegg. Tell us about that. He's the president. He's president of Global Affairs for Meta. What can you tell us about what he revealed to you?
Yeah, well, for one thing, Wolf, he did not talk to Trump or any of his associates before this decision. So they are learning about this in real time at the same time as CNN's viewers are learning about this. He also did not talk to the White House or any other stakeholders. So we're all learning about it at the same time. A couple of other things to note. He takes full responsibility for this decision, not Mark Zuckerberg. Part of the reason that they elevated him to that president of global affairs role is so that he could take some of that responsibility, take some of the heat off of Mark Zuckerberg. And I think the last consequential thing is that there's going to be instances where Donald Trump might post something that doesn't explicitly break their rules, Wolf, but they're going to want to do something about it. And so Meta has rolled out some new things that they're going to do to take.
You hear this? So Meta is going to roll out some new things that they're going to do. Everything she's getting ready to say, none of it's new. It's already been put in place. I'm willing to bet everyone that's on Facebook right now, or everyone that used to be on Facebook right now, you've experienced what she's about to say. Dude, you can't make this stuff up. Listen.
Wolf, but they're going to want to do something about it. And so Meta has rolled out some new things that they're going to do to take control in those situations. For example, they might limit the ability of a post to be reshared, but keep that post up. They also might say, all right, Donald Trump, we're not going to take your accounts away. We're not going to suspend them, but you no longer can run ads against them. And to Dhoni's point, that's a huge deal. And so these are new things that their engineering teams are going to have to reconstruct. And Wolf, that's why Nick Clegg told me they're not reinstating his accounts today. They're going to need some time technologically on the back end to build this out before they let him back on.
What? It's already in place. They've already been doing it. I know multiple people that used to run ads on Facebook and they no longer can run ads on Facebook. Multiple people. I know people that put posts on Facebook and they put it on there and their reaches went completely down. Yours truly. You know what? My Facebook page as of right now has about, 418,000 people. 418,000 people. I used to be able to produce a video and it would get, somewhere roughly on the average between 120 and 175,000 views overnight, easily, because of 400 and some thousand people following my page. They throttled it back. This, what they're saying, is already in place. This is them lying again. And I guess they're on here trying to see who can be the most convincing in their lies. And now they're all upset because President Trump is going back on Facebook. Excuse me. All right. So I have something else I want to share with you. And, I have my reservations about sharing the last one because, I'm on Facebook right now. I'm talking about Facebook. I didn't say nothing bad. I mean, I like Facebook. I like YouTube. But, there's some things that they do on there that has been pretty hurtful, and they've done stuff and they're doing stuff, and it is what it is. But anyways, for those of you that are going to join me on Rumble, I'll see you over there on Rumble. But let me say thank you to everyone on Facebook that has joined me on Facebook. James, Robin, Don, Shelly, Cynthia, Denise. Wow. Thank you so much for all the shares on that. Thank you so much. Sherry, thank you so much for the stars. Catherine, thank you so much for the stars. April, Teresa, Chuck, thank you for the stars. Travis, thank you for sharing. Mary, thank you for sharing. Deborah, Brett, thank you so much for sharing. Joanne, Don, thank you so much for sharing. Carl, Christine, thank you so much. Dave, Mary, thank you so much for sharing. I really do appreciate it. Wow, thank you so much. This is amazing. Charles, thank you so much for sharing. Charles, thank you so much for the stars as well. Alfredo, thank you so much. Afonso, thank you so much for that, for the stars. Keith, thank you so much for sharing. Keith looks like Kid Rock to me. I don't know. Maybe he just got Kid Rock's picture there or something. I don't know. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on Facebook. And let me take a look on YouTube just to see. Oh, snap. It's not going to show it to me here on YouTube. Oh, wait a minute. Deborah, thank you so much. Oh, it did show it to me. Deborah, thank you so much for the super chat. And Mandatory Carry, thank you so much for the super chat as well. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't already and you're on YouTube, smash that like button. Help me get past the algorithms. The way you help me get past algorithms on Facebook is by hitting the share button. That's the only way to help me get past the algorithms. I really do appreciate it. So for every one of you that's going to join me over on Rumble, I have something that I want to share with you that's about to happen in our country. Something's about to go down, but I can't show it to you here on these platforms because it's a narrative that they're pushing. They do it all the time. So if you want to see what I'm talking about, you're going to have to join me over on Rumble. All right, I'm headed over there right now. It's that time. It's that time. And while you're over there on YouTube, please subscribe. And Facebook, please like, follow as well. Subscribe on my Facebook as well. All right, let's go. All right. See you over there.